Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question to the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocket.radio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
And a good morning to you. It is Coffee Ann time here on ON, AM, and FM. Thanks for joining us Friday morning, November the 8th. My name's Joe Callahan. At the coffee table, we'll say good morning to Dave Richards. Hi, Dave.
Well, hello there, Joe.
Hello there.
Good morning, everybody. Lovely day.
We expect Melissa Murray to join us at some point this morning as well here on the Coffee Ann program. And we're also being joined by Bob Salas. He is the event organizer for Business Give Back for Toys for Tots. Thanks for joining us, Bob.
Hey, thanks for having me, Joe. Appreciate it.
All right, before we get to Bob, we want to get back to Dave because it's time for a first message from the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce, our first segment sponsor of Coffee Ann.
Well, you know that Melissa's going to be a little late today. She was up late last night doing her caucus.
Yes, they were voting down at the State House, right?
They were voting down there at the State House, yes. Then they were making sure that everything is going to be all organized and everything else. But in the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce, attention small business owners. Did you know you must file what they're calling a beneficial ownership report? Yes, it's a brand new mandatory requirement. You can go to jail if you don't file this by January 1st, 2025. Filing is simple and free.
Of course it is.
It's you just right, sure, right. But if you could figure it out, there you go. If you really want to understand what's going on, what this is all about now. Now this didn't come from the state legislature. This came from far above in the feds. They're having a wicked hard time. It's explained to me. They were explaining it from Boston. They're having a wicked hard time tracking down the ne'er-do-wells and drug people who are running shell corporations. And so what they're making, anybody who is part of a S-corp or a corporation of different levels and depths, you have to have all of your seriously, incredibly personal information identified and associated with that corporation. Of course, then the next thing is all your personal information will be probably, required to be posted publicly, so that but your passport photos, everything, driver's licenses, they're all going to be online, given to the federal government if you're an officer of a corporation, and that's just the way it's going to be. If you don't like it, take it up with the feds. But again, this is something that's business owners have been grumbling about and comparing notes with. Really only takes about 20-30 minutes to bear yourself to all the criminals of the world. So there you go. And if it's on file in the federal government, somebody's going to demand it on Freedom of Information Act. Well, anyway, the point is you got to do it or you're going to go to jail. It's 2 years if you miss the deadline, plus massive fines, because they mean business about this.
All right.
And they know that the drug dealers have no problems with paying large fines, so they just made the fines large. That's the way it is. There is, on behalf of all of their members, a special free clinic on putting together your beneficial ownership information report coming up yesterday. Missed it.
Okay.
I just looked down. It's yesterday from 4 to 7 p.m. And unfortunately, I was somewhere else. But anyway, if you contact the Chamber, they will be very pleased to get you in on what's going on. The Chamber of Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce on top of things so much that I got behind.
All right, there.
334-1000, Joe.
Thanks, Dave.
Don't
good morning.
call that number now. They won't be answering until 9 o'clock.
Good morning to Melissa Murray, who's joined us.
Good morning.
And congratulations.
And she's not,
Thank you
she's
so
not
much.
droopy-eyed.
No, well, I mean, I am.
Well, yeah.
I'm not.
Well, I mean, between the election,
Yeah.
and people don't know this. I'll just say it because she doesn't want to sound like she's whining. But between the election and everything that it puts you through, and then you have your local watch party where you have your friends and supporters in and all the rest of that, and then you got to go down to Providence to be part of that party. You get home a little late that night, that's for sure. And then next thing you know, we got to have a caucus because you were elected. and all the rest of that sort of thing like that. You've been really
Yeah,
busy.
yeah, and we had an eventful caucus last night, probably the most eventful caucus that I have experienced. But
What makes it event? When you say that, are you being somewhat facetious when you say
no,
that?
no,
Was
no.
there a battle on the
There
floor?
was.
Oh, I see.
Yep. There
Because
was
I
a-
overheard rumors that someone else was lobbying to be the Senate president
That
next
is
year.
correct. That's correct.
But
Yes.
when the votes were
they did
counted,
not. They did not prevail.
they did not prevail.
Yeah.
Okay, so
But it took a long time and lots of discussion to get there.
oh, what time did you get out?
I
Because
think
then
we.
there's the meetings after the meetings.
Well, then we all had dinner together.
Yeah,
Like we did.
yeah, like
Yeah.
you get along. Yeah, okay.
You know what? But I was
I
surprised
love
because
teasing you so much.
No,
and
I
it's
mean-
all saved up from over the summertime. You know that. But Melissa, you're such a good sport. Don't take it seriously, dear.
well, it's over, and I'm glad.
Here you go.
Now the work begins.
All right. Well, if it's, just in case people are a little out of touch, Melissa's a dear friend who works with us in the office. She's our social media director, and she helps us with support in the office in many different ways. And she got a part-time job as a state senator, which she just got her contract renewed on
Congratulations.
Tuesday.
How many years
And-
now?
This is my 4th term.
Right.
But how long is this term? Is it
It's,
a 4 years?
it's 2 years.
2
Every
years.
every 2 year,
Every
every
two.
other
Oh,
year
okay.
you have to run.
Gotcha.
Yeah, only the
All
top
right.
people go every 4
4
years.
years, okay.
It's
Yeah.
kind of like that camel's nose under the tent thing. They just did a little thing. Oh, no, just the governor. Don't worry about that. The rest of them will get it later.
All right. Well, let's talk with Bob right now, and that's why we asked him to come in. It's the Business Gives
Is
Back.
that why he's here? I thought he was in the studio audience, just
wondering why.
enjoying.
Yeah. Business Gives
Hi,
Back
Bob.
for Toys for Tots, the 4th annual.
I saw your
event
box at
takes
the Navigant
place.
Credit Union in the Park Square.
Yeah, there's a lot of boxes all over the place, and it's. I'll tell you, this is going to be a great year for Toys for Tots. 2023 was a record-breaking year for the national organization. It was a record-breaking year for me personally in my event,
Right.
and we're trying to take it up a notch.
Sure.
You brought in over 700 gifts last year.
That is correct, and
So you got a goal this year?
yeah, we have we. Why not go for 4 digits, right? So
right.
we
Go for 1,000.
we went for we're going for 1,000, and we're hoping to have 250 people there. It's going to be at the Guild in Pawtucket.
Oh, the event now.
The event is
Okay.
going to be at the Guild in Pawtucket on
Because you got
Veterans
the
Day.
sustained effort, like the one I mentioned, the boxes over at
Right,
Navigant.
right. That collects all over the state,
Right, that's
all
the
over
sustained
the country,
effort.
really.
But you have a single event that's coming
Yes.
up, what, a Monday, is it?
Monday on Veterans Day.
Oh, good. It's a
So
holiday.
A lot of my veterans friends will come, so
Right.
it'll be good. It is going to be Monday night, 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. And 461 Main Street in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, where
I know
the,
that.
the
That's
Guild
the brewery, isn't it?
Yep.
Yes, it
Yep.
is.
So there will
Yeah.
be beer, but we're also going to have music, free music from the Strum Dogs. We're going to have
Oh, I love those guys.
we're going to have free food from Bugged Out Barbecue right here in Woonsocket.
Oh wow!
So,
I love it.
They've got great
Buck is
food.
going to be
Oh, he's
there.
gonna be there.
Yeah, Jermaine, he's
Oh,
awesome,
man.
man.
Yeah.
Jermaine.
I haven't had his. I got to go down to his store at lunchtime. I keep forgetting, but yeah, boy, did we chow down on that stuff.
I'll tell you what, he makes
at
the best
Autumn Fest.
barbecue.
Oh boy!
Oh yeah,
boy.
Autumn Fest. He's
Right.
there every year. I see him every
He
year.
had a
right,
sampler,
yeah.
and one of the crew, our broadcast team crew at Autumn Fest, brought in the sampler and shared. It was my turn next.
Yeah.
I had to go down and get the sampler and bring it in. Oh my goodness, what
Yeah.
great food!
Yeah, he does a great job. So there's a lot of hands that go into this. Obviously, anytime you have a big event, you need a lot of help. So there's been a lot of sponsors. A lot of my business friends have stepped up. A lot of my personal friends have stepped up. And we're going to have free music, free food. Obviously, we're going to have beer and wine available, and non-alcoholic drinks as well at the bar. And we're going to have a great time. So what happens is people arrive between 5 and 6. We ask everyone who comes to bring at least one new unwrapped toy as their entry fee, so to speak. They come in, they check in, give their toy over to us. We'll have a big pile of toys. It's really impressive looking, right?
so.
And then the band will start around 6. The food will start around 6, and then usually the U.S. Marines arrive around 7 to pick up all the toys. They come in this big truck.
Oh, okay,
And they
yeah.
come all dressed.
Dressed in their
Oh,
dress
that's
blue.
nice.
Oh, it's very impressive.
I bet it is,
It's very
yeah.
impressive, and everybody loves that too, and especially to have the Marines come on Veterans Day. I mean, what could be better than that?
Yeah.
Right. And as a veteran myself, and one of my sponsors is a veteran, and we help to coordinate that with the Marines, and it's just it's a great way to celebrate Veterans Day. And here's the thing: like we just got through, as you were saying, with this election, right? So very. It's like disturbing almost, like with all the stress that comes from that. And then what do we have on the other side of this? We have Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah.
Right. So
No stress there.
no stress there, right? So right in between those two, we said let's just have a fun event and do something good for the world. No matter what side of the fence you're on, it's like everybody loves kids. So let's collect up some toys for kids who need them this Christmas, and that's what this is all about.
And do you find that the need becomes greater each year? Or the demand
Yeah,
is, as the
what we-
economy gets more challenging?
Yeah, we've heard that consistently since. Now, this is there's some history here which I'm happy to share with you. But this is the 4th year that we've done this kind of event, this kind of big event,
Yep.
and it's seemingly every year we hear from the Toys for Tots organization that the need is greater than ever.
Yeah, not surprising.
Yeah, there's a lot of people struggling. Inflation has, of course,
Yeah,
hit a
yeah.
lot of homes, and
Absolutely.
and that impacts the things that are what you would think of as maybe luxury items, right? So toys might be considered that. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
More important to feed yourself, I suppose, right?
Yep.
But we want if a kid doesn't have a toy at Christmas, to me that's not Christmas. So that's what this is about.
Do you look for an age group of toys that's more in need than another, like 5 to 6 or 12 to 13, something like that?
I'll tell you there. I haven't got any data on where there is more needs. A lot of people bring toys for younger kids, right? Because that's what they think of. But we always have a good amount of toys for those teenagers.
All right.
Good.
Or the preteens, or whatever
Yeah.
you want to call them. And people will come in. It's great to see people come to this event, by the way, because when they come in, they want to tell me what their toy is, right? So I spend a lot of time talking, which
Yeah.
I don't mind doing because I like to talk. But they come in and they want to tell me why they bought this toy. They say, I bought this toy because, I figure a lot of people are buying for younger kids, and this is more for an older kid.
Yeah.
Or I bought this toy because it meant so. I think most of these people buy these toys because that's what they would want, right?
Yeah.
When they,
Yes.
I had fun with this when I was a kid.
Yes,
right.
yes.
This toy's a blast.
yeah. I had a guy bring me in a bunch of Lego things. He goes, "Oh man, I just love Lego." I said, "Hey, my daughter loved Legos growing up." So I said, "Legos are always a great gift, as far as I'm concerned." So there's a lot of different toys, and everybody has a story with their particular toys, and it's fun to hear those stories. People get very excited about it.
Well, Legos, I don't know if people realize or if they've given it any thought, but Legos are one of those basic toys that it's fun, but it really develops a youngster's mind.
It does.
And it helps them problem solve, imagine things, and organize their thoughts. In fact, last night and later on, we'll get a chance maybe to talk about the open house of the Woonsocket Area Career and Technical Center last night. But we're talking in the computer sciences with Chuck, who's the teacher there, and with some of the students. I said, "Do you realize how important the Legos were to your life, or to the little wooden blocks? Because when they're coding, that's what they call when they write down the symbols and words and commands in the background that actually make a computer do its thing, or a robot or something else like that. When they're coding, they're actually just taking blocks of commands and making them work together to form something bigger.
Right.
And Legos do that. So when you do something, a simple toy like that, you're really helping a youngster develop.
Yeah. It's really true, Dave. And just to brag a little bit, because I'm a dad. My daughter, when she was young, she only wanted 2 things for Christmas: Legos and books.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
and there you
Melissa
go.
just raised her
That's-
hand.
And again, leading up to the bragging thing, my daughter just got her PhD. So there's an anecdotal evidence for you.
Congratulations.
So,
That's
thank you.
amazing.
But yeah, you're right. I mean, reading and those almost like that puzzle crafting
Yeah.
of Legos is really important to the development of the mind. And like when I used to go to Toys for Tots events, I would always bring a strategic game because I was always a game guy. Like
Yeah.
I'm a chess player and Stratego and Battleship, and so those would always be my story, right? I'm bringing this
Right.
because this helped me when I was young. I enjoyed this when I was young, and it also contributed to my development as a young person.
Right.
And these are all things that can, people think toys. Oh, what's toys? Well, toys really, like you were saying,
That's
They
right.
develop kids, and they make them into functioning and successful human beings.
All right, we're going to take a break here in the Coffee and program. More is coming up with Bob and the Toys for Tots events that's coming up on Monday. But this segment of Coffee has been sponsored by the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce. Dave, anything else to say about the Chamber?
I do, Joe. 334-1000. Call after 9 o'clock this morning when they answer the phones at the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce.
Are you retired or retiring soon? That's great. Congratulations. You may be retiring, but your money can't afford to retire. I'm Ed Carew of the Carew Investment Group at 2190 Mendon Road, Suite 3, Cumberland, Rhode Island. At the Carew Investment Group, we offer personal investment management of client money, especially from the proceeds of their 401k distribution after they leave the workforce. So to find out more about our services and for professional management of your investments, call Ed or Paul Carew at 765-8880. Securities are offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA and SIPC, and advisory services offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee Roasters. All their coffee is roasted right here in Rhode Island. Down East Coffee Roasters is available at all Little General stores.
We're local and live at 99.5.
It's Coffee and on ON AM and FM. Thanks for joining us. This is Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards, Melissa Murray. We'll also be joined by Bob Salvis, the event organizer for Business Gives Back for Toys for Tots.
In this area, right?
In Pawtucket, yeah. So you have an event coming up on Monday. You say it's the 4th annual, but this has been going on
Well,
going back to 2009?
Yeah, actually, the history of this event, Joe, is it all started in February of 2009. A good friend of mine, Dan Edmonds, was a business owner like I was at the time, and he started a networking event. It was an open networking event, and anybody could come, and he did it every month. And then, but every November, when he had this networking event, he would, instead of paying like a fee or cover charge, whatever you want to call it, he would ask all the businesses that were going to bring a toy as a donation to Toys for Tots. So he did this every year, and every November that would be what he would do because he really believed in this cause. And we all followed along, brought our toys. So fast forward to 2015, he asked me to take over the event. He was moving to Florida. I took over the event. I started doing the same thing every November, and it was very, it was fine. We usually got about 100 toys. And then, of course, 2020. Right. Yeah. So everybody, I don't even need to say it, right? Everybody knows what happens in 2020. All these events go away. And unfortunately, we got some really bad news. My friend Dan, during COVID, passed away. So he was in his 50s. It was very sad. We took it very hard, and we wanted to do something to honor Dan. But we couldn't do any Toys for Tots event in 2020 because there was no events. So in 2021, we decided, all right, we're going to make up for lost time. And we're going to do a big event. And we're not just going to restrict it to business people, but we're going to invite everybody.
Okay.
So bring your whole, your wife, your aunts, whoever you want. And let's everybody bring toys. So we had our first event in 2021 at Ravenous Brewing Company, and it was a big success. Everybody had a great time. And, of course, all my friends and business associates came up to me after, and they said, this was so much fun, you have to do it again. So we did it the first time in 2021. We got 200 toys. In 2022, we got about 350 toys. Last year, we got 750 toys. So that's why we're up in our game this year and trying to hit the magic number of 1,000.
Fantastic. And
No matter how many toys you end up with, someone's going to be assisted. Someone's going to have a better Christmas.
Without question,
yeah.
and that's the goal. When you think about this, you don't think about, oh yeah, we got 1,000 toys. You think about that one toy that meant something to somebody personally.
Dave mentioned to me off air when I told him that you were coming in. It's like, well, it's good that you're having it at the Guild brewery down in Pawtucket. That way, no kids will be there, so
They won't see what
won't
they're
be
getting.
surprised. They'll
Right.
still be surprised.
Right, there you go. There you go.
I said that was smart thinking.
Yeah, very
to have
smart.
it, to have it there. So great. So so it's the fourth. You consider it now the fourth annual because Dan started it, but you've taken it over, and then COVID.
Yeah, we've changed.
So
We've changed the
you've
event
changed the
essentially.
name.
Instead of it being a business thing where you casually bring toys, it's like we're making it a big thing, and so that's why it's the
Open to the
fourth
public.
annual, open to the public kind of event.
How many Marines show up to pick up the toys?
Let's see. Last year, I think we had 3, and one year we had like 6. I don't know if
wow.
they
Okay.
if they have a particular. I guess it's whoever is available at
Right.
the time, right? But they love coming, and they just everybody goes up to them. You know how it is. You see a dressed Marine, it's like, thank you for your service.
Especially
Can I
like-
buy you a beer?
No, I
you know.
know.
Yeah.
And especially not with being Veterans Day.
Yeah.
There'll be a lot more people thanking them.
Yeah, and it's also, I believe the day before is the Marine Corps birthday.
Birthday, that's right.
Right.
Great.
right.
We just
So-
had that on the air this morning.
Yeah, so it's so they're in a festive mood too, and
That might be a good way to put it. A festive,
Festive.
mood.
there you go.
Do the Strum Dogs know the Marine song?
That's a good question.
should play that,
I don't. They should play that. I'll have to check with them. But the
You've got a weekend to figure it out.
yeah. Well, those guys are pretty talented musicians, so they can probably handle it.
Okay.
And the whole Toys for Tots thing goes back to 1947. So it's been a long-standing organization nationally, and I looked up the numbers just in case anybody was interested. Total, they've collected over the lifetime of Toys for Tots 604 million toys given to 272 million needy kids. So
wow.
I think that's some big numbers right there.
Okay. Now, if you don't can't get out for whatever reason to get a new unwrapped toy, you'll take money.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We'll actually have and we'll have a cash box there because what happens every year is somebody finds out about the event too late, and they want to come in, they don't have a toy. So we have a cash box that we give to the Marines when they leave. So that obviously they're willing to take cash. We prefer toys because
Right.
there's a little bit more creativity involved in it. It's a little bit more fun. It puts people in that holiday spirit. But yeah, we will certainly take any donations and buy more toys with them if the money comes in early, or if the money comes in late, we'll give it directly to the Marines.
And are the Marines in charge of going out and buying the toys from that?
I'm not sure exactly how the logistics of that, Joe, but my understanding is there every year, and this is interesting. Every year, like my friend Chris Sanford from PuroClean, he's a reserve Navy guy, and he is my go-to guy for connecting with the Marines because what happens is it's not always the same Marines every year.
Oh no, they come
Right.
and go.
Right. But also, like, whoever you could have a Marine there for a long time, but every year it's a different crew
I
of
see.
Marines that volunteer for this particular assignment.
Right.
And so you never know who the Marines are going to be, so you got to kind of ferret that out. And Chris does a great job of doing that.
Okay. You must see the same people year after year. Have you noticed that?
Oh, as far as the crowd goes?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We got a lot of the same supporters, And it's funny, it comes from all different parts, right? So we have businesses like Rhode Island Novelty will give us a bunch of toys. I have a friend from high school, Sue Grant, that will come with 100 to 200 toys.
Whoa,
that
wow.
she's bought on her own, right? So there are different pockets of people who just really embrace this. They come every year, they donate every year, and that's why it's been building and growing, and that's why we're able to say, hey, you know what? Let's try for
Let's go
1,000
for that 1,000 toys.
because
yeah.
I think we're going to make it.
Now, it seems to me, Bob, that you have obviously yourself as a driving force here, but you've got a group of people who form, even if you don't call it such, a committee of close friends who help you get the things accomplished and everything else like that. I think before you go, I'd like to hear you put some thank yous out there.
I'd love
I mean,
to.
don't. I know you're being very respectful of the airtime and possible commercial conflicts and things like that, but we'd like to be able to make sure that the thank yous are given. Just don't use any call letters. And you'd be fine with us. So go right ahead.
Other than WON. Listen, this couldn't be done without a lot of volunteer work and a lot of sponsorship money. So the Guild Brewery has donated their space. CSC Paymaster, PuroClean, Trust Networking, W. Parmentier Photography, Bugged Out Barbecue, England Studio, Triforce Advisors, Builders Insurance Group, the Residential Construction Workforce Partnership, Unconventional Productions, Berg's Eye Communication, Graphic Plus, the Strum Dogs, Betty Galligan. If you don't know her, she sings with the Strum Dogs. She'll be singing with the Strum Dogs for a few songs. Right. And Josh Fadeda, who is a leadership coach. All these people are sponsors and volunteers who will help make this a successful event. Obviously, I could not do this without a ton of help. And I am very, very grateful for everyone who helps, no matter what they do to help.
And would you tag up and just start from the beginning, who, what, when, where, how, so in case somebody listened or joined us halfway through the conversation, they'll know.
Absolutely. So first of all, there's a website that you should be aware of. It's businesses, it's plural, businessesgiveback.com. businessesgiveback.com. And you can sign up for the event. We'd love you to sign up if you're coming, because that way there we have a little bit better idea as far as food goes. But businessesgiveback.com. The event is going to be Monday, Veterans Day, this coming Monday. It's going to be at the Guild Brewery in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, at 461 Main Street in Pawtucket, and it's going to start at 5 p.m. and go to 9 p.m. You don't need to bring anything. Well, if you want to buy beer, I guess you bring something.
But a couple of bucks, if you want some.
But we do ask you, every person, to bring at least one new unwrapped toy that we'll put as part of that toy drive donation.
Now, the Guild, what can they expect for beer there if they're unfamiliar with the place? Obviously, it's all craft brewing there, but do they also have other brands, or is it all their brands?
It's pretty much all their brands, but they're going to have a wide variety.
That's the case with most of the breweries,
right?
Yeah.
But they're going to have a wide variety, and unlike a lot of other breweries, they also will be serving some wine, and I don't think they make the wine, I think they bring it in, but they also will be serving some wine, some non-alcoholic drinks. We'll have free bottled water. If somebody comes and they don't drink and they don't want to spend money, we're going to have free bottled water for them. So, I mean,
that's great.
Free food, free bottled water. I mean, there's no reason not to come.
That's great. And do you know, this is kind of a technical question, but do you know, do they brew a lager there at the Guild?
They do. They do.
Yeah. A lot of the small microbreweries don't brew lagers because it's a very long process and they can't get a quick turnover on it.
No, I definitely had some there. And, of course, like any craft
I'm fond of
brewery.
lager beers.
Yeah, apparently. Like any craft brewery, they have a wide variety, and it does change as the seasons change. But they asked us, and we said, put out every beer you got, because we never know what people are going to like, right?
You don't know about
right.
exactly, and I'm sure that they like that answer too.
Yeah.
Bob, thanks for coming here today. I want you to know that even though you have to leave us now, you will be replaced in that seat by a Marine.
All right.
Because the rooster is here.
All right.
I have one very quick question. So the boxes that are out in locations, do they stay out after the event? If someone can't get to the event,
Yes, absolutely.
they're still able to
Yes.
donate. And
Yes, sure.
we have one here in Woonsocket at Navigant.
Yep.
Right.
Do you know of any other offhand in Woonsocket or?
I don't know all the placement of the boxes, but if there are boxes out there with the Toys for Tots logo on it, they have a prescribed pickup date, which is going to be after our event. So
So if someone
they
misses
can
it,
certainly
they can
miss
still
it, and
donate. Yep.
Absolutely.
Great.
And of course, Cardi's Corporation has
yeah.
always, every year, they're a big proponent of this. And,
They do.
and if you don't know where to go, you can always go to a Cardi's and drop your toy off there.
There you go.
Okay, great.
All right, Bob Salvis, thanks for coming in and talking about the Business Gives Back for Toys for Tots. The event is Monday night, November 11th from 5 to 9 p.m. at the Guild Brewery on Main Street. Best of luck at hitting 1,000 toys.
Hey, thanks. It was really a joy to be here. Thank you very much, guys.
All right, time for the forecast right now, which is being brought to you by Indeed.com.
Sunny skies today with a high near 63 degrees. Winds could gust up to 30 miles per hour from the west. Tonight, mostly clear skies, overnight low of 36. Saturday's weather, sunshine and 51. Sunday, mostly sunny and a high of 57. Veterans Day, Monday, partly sunny skies, 65. Tuesday, mostly sunny with a high of 58. Wednesday, mostly sunny and 52. Wednesday night, a slight chance of a shower. And on Thursday, mostly cloudy skies, high of 53 with a 50% chance of showers.
Outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street, where we do have sunny skies and 50 degrees.
Looking for quality candidates this year? Look no further than Indeed. Their video interview tool takes the hassle out of virtual hiring. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Wow! Can you believe Gators Pub is celebrating its 35th year in business? Maybe the key to Gators' success is our super friendly staff. Or maybe the fact that the chefs at Gators are constantly making some of the freshest and most delicious dishes around. If you've never been, come on down and check out our great lunch specials from Monday through Thursday. They also offer complimentary soup during lunch. Watch the Boston Red Sox on one of our many TVs while enjoying classic apps like fresh potato skins or our famous pita chips. Come watch a volleyball game and have a burger or one of our newest cocktail creations. Gators is located on Route 102 in North Smithfield, about 1 mile before Wright's Chicken Farm. Come say hello.
For an Allstate agent, providing protection options that fit your life is something they take, well, personally. Allstate agents are committed to learning about your needs and helping customize protection to meet them. From bundling your home and auto insurance with ease to evaluating optional coverage, your Allstate agent can help build an insurance proposal that fits your life. And just as important as learning what you need is learning what you don't. Because helping you get coverage you want with savings you deserve is what Allstate is all about. It's time to get coverage that's catered to you. Are you in good hands? Call Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, 2 locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. One telephone number, 765-5000. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Lou Mandeville here to tell you the only place to get your local high school and college scores, as well as the Pats, Bruins, Celtics, and Sox is on My Morning Sports Reports. And they are right here on ON 1240, Monday through Friday on the Morning Fun Show.
This portion of the Coffee and Program is sponsored by the Valley Breeze newspaper.
The Valley Breeze has been a local news leader since its founding in 1996, and more people are reading our stories today than ever before. We believe our mission of making our community stronger by telling their stories is not just a tagline, but a way of life for our staff as they connect with you, our loyal readers and advertisers. Our team thanks you for always reading, always reaching out, and always helping toward our shared vision. Check out any of our 5 editions or visit valleybreeze.com for more.
Coffee and on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us right now on this Friday morning. This is Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards, Melissa Murray, and we're being joined at the coffee and table by Rich Lane from Post 85.
Yes, you are.
How are you, Rich?
I am doing fantastic. Nice to see the whole family back
I
together.
know.
Here,
Isn't it nice?
Her exile is over.
Yes,
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
What, anything happened while I was gone?
No, nothing much.
No, not much.
We
Okay.
had an election.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we better not get into that.
No, we won't.
We'll fill you in later. Okay. Rich, what's going on at the Post?
I'll tell you what, there's not only stuff going on at the Post, there's stuff going on for veterans all over Woonsocket this year. I'll tell you, let's just start out with what's going on Sunday, which is, of course, I think there's a birthday on Sunday. I'm not quite sure. I think it's got something to do with the Marine
We mentioned
Corps.
it on the radio this
Yeah, I
morning.
know
We
you
wished
have.
happy birthday. to
I
them.
was hollering hoorah all the way in my car. So,
I thought you'd be singing.
but on Sunday, November 10th, the day before Veterans Day and the Marine Corps birthday, down at St. Joe's Vets, because we get along. I mean, what we try to do, we try to get along with all these and promote, the other veteran entities, anything for a veteran, actually.
You work together in the service, you might as well work together afterwards.
That's correct. That's correct. So on this Sunday, November 10th, down at St. Joe's Vets on Louise Street in Woonsocket, from 8 to 11 a.m., the Patriot Riders, great group of bikers down there. They're going to host a veterans breakfast. It's going to be free for veterans, and adults are $10 and children are $5, and that's going to be from 8 to 11 a.m. So if you wake up Sunday morning, go, gee, let's go have some breakfast and see some veterans. Go down to St. Joe's Vets, and then also that same day in the afternoon, the Woonsocket Outs Lodge is doing a veterans lunch, which is great. That's going to be from 12 to 4 p.m. And that's for veterans. That's going to be $5 and $15 for non-veterans. So veterans, you get a great break, and I'm sure that lunch is going to be something really, really good.
Before that, did you know, Rich, that the folks who donated the car, the Imperial cars up in Mendon and Milford,
Yes.
are doing a drive? They got boxes out to collect items for veterans who are in the homes and things like that. You know, the usual things
Yep.
like socks and toiletries and things like that, and to help them out. So they're having a drive up there in Mendon and in Milford, a little bit north of us, but they're friends of ours and advertisers, and of course donated a car here
Absolutely,
in Woonsocket.
yeah.
So thought we'd make sure that we mentioned that. That's all day tomorrow.
Yeah.
ninth.
Yeah, well, good. I'm happy you told me about that because now
They can look that up on
I
our
got to make a
Facebook.
ride up there. And
Yeah, we've
drop
got
some
that on
off.
our Facebook and also, well, continue on with your list. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
No,
derail
no
you.
problem. No problem at all. You're kind of like the boss around here, so.
Oh, don't let that get around. It'll spoil the workflow.
No, the boss is actually sitting out front. Yeah, so yeah, like I just mentioned, the Elks Lodge now on Veterans Day, November 11th, on that Monday, we're going to do a little Veterans Day breakfast down at the American Legion Post 85. We're going to do breakfast sandwiches from 8 to 10 a.m. So come on down, veterans, and you know, and people in the community, and come on down and grab yourself a breakfast sandwich down there from 8 to 10 down at the post. And then, of course, at 11 o'clock that day, we got the Veterans Day ceremony over at Armed Forces Park on Davison Ave. And that starts at 11 a.m. And I think the
We'll be
OON's
there.
going to be down
We'll
there,
be
right?
there providing the electricity, the microphones, and the
There-
broadcasting.
There we go. There we go. So that's at 11 a.m. And then the correlation after that, right after that ceremony down at Armed Forces Park, is going to be over at St. Joe's Vets. So I'm sure St. Joe's is going to provide something or other back there afterwards. So I haven't gotten word on that yet, but that looks
There's
like
always
it'd
a
be
little collation
little
afterwards. Yeah.
Collation, something. Yeah. So
Sometimes the Elks does it, and sometimes
Yep.
somebody else does it.
yeah, I think
St. Joe's this year.
St. Joe's this year, yeah. And then I just want to keep mentioning this. Saturday, November 30th, down at American Legion Post 85, we're doing a coat giveaway.
Oh,
Okay, so we have
getting that
it's-
time of year.
Yep. And so that is going to, I don't know the hours on that yet, but I will get those for you next Friday. But mark that date down. Probably going to be sometime 1 in the afternoon. But Saturday, November 30th, the coat giveaway down at our post. This is for veterans in the community. Because at Post 85, as you folks out there know, we do a lot for the community also.
Sure do.
Now, we've got a couple of telephone calls in. We were lacking children's coats.
Right.
But we've got a few phone calls that are going around, and hopefully next week I can report back to you folks that we do have children's coats available. But we're working very hard to make that happen. You know who else supports the heck out of veterans too? And what a wonderful lady is Jeannie Michon. from
Oh,
New
yeah.
Beginnings. What a sweetheart she
I
is,
know.
right? But she asked me, and I said, absolutely. Not only does she do the New Beginnings, but she's also a member of the Ladies Auxiliary over at Post 85. So I said, well, I can get away with it because it's actually got something to do with a veteran group. See? So here we go.
All right.
On Saturday, November 16th, from 6 to 8 p.m., down at the Woonsocket Senior Center, Gene and New Beginnings, they're going to be doing a meat raffle. And I guess it's Butcher Brothers Meats they're going to be
Yeah.
raffling
Oh,
off
sure,
down
yeah.
there. And they're going to have a 50-50. They're going to have 4 rounds of meats being done, 7 items per round. And the tickets, I can't believe like how inexpensive the tickets are going to be for this meat raffle. 8 tickets, only $5.
Whoa.
Imagine that?
Yeah.
Huh? So go down there, drop a 20 spot, and get yourself
30
4 for
24
32. That's
tickets?
right. Sometimes it
24
takes
tickets.
Marines a while. It was all those blue,
You want a calculator?
all those blue crayons I ate. You know, it was. And let's see on Sunday. Oh yeah, I got to mention this too for AMVET 7. Right, AMVET 7, another great group down there. Brian Camara, the commander down there, he asked me if I could mention that on November the 17th,
Yeah.
they are having an all-you-can-eat fundraiser, spaghetti and meatball dinner, from 1 to 5 p.m. And I know they're doing a lot of work down at AMVET 7. I stopped down there quite a bit to say hello to the folks down there. And they got a lot of renovations going on, and so $20 per person to me, all you can eat spaghetti and meatballs. It sounds pretty good to me.
Did you say it was the 17th?
Yes, November the 17th.
That's a Sunday, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, and that's, like I said, from 1 to 5 p.m. And they're going to do like music and raffles.
Nice.
Now I'm going to kind of stick a little bit to Post 85, if I
Okay.
may.
Go right ahead.
Okay. You know, I often talk about how thankful I am that I can come in here on a Friday and tell you what's going on with veterans and stuff. And this was so cool. I get a little call from one of the bartenders over at Post 85 the other day, or a text, I should say. And she said, in her text, she says, somebody's going to get in touch with you about a car. I say, all right, we already got a vehicle, that, for our veterans, so I don't know what this is about. But Diane, if you're listening out there, Diane from Slatersville, I'm not going to give the last name,
Okay.
but Diane, if you're listening out there from Slatersville, she called the other day, and her husband John want to donate a car to give to a veteran. I thought that was unbelievable.
That's
Right?
That's pretty good.
And
Well,
she
Henry's
said-
Heroes is
and-
doing that,
Yeah.
And they've got till Monday to apply.
Mm-hmm.
And they've gotten dozens and dozens of applications now
Yep.
already. Yeah.
So, and you know what she said? She said, I heard about what you do on the radio. Mm-hmm. So, thank you for allowing me to come in on Fridays, first of all, and do what I do. But this is what happens, And she said, it runs well. It's a SUV.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. So, I'm going to go pick that up on Sunday, hopefully.
Oh, I
And,
see. So this isn't part of Henry's. I misunderstood.
oh, no, this isn't part of Henry's. No,
Oh,
this is a
okay.
private lady that just,
Oh, that's nice.
hello, how you guys doing? We got a car we'd like to give you.
Oh, great.
Yep. So I'm going to go pick that up on Sunday, and, we're going to put it up at the Post, and then we're going to get together as far as all the officers down there, and we're going to sit down and say, all right, what's the best way of handling this? How are we going to do this? I've got a couple of thoughts of my own that I don't want to put out there until I talk to the others.
Oh, sure.
They usually
Yeah,
say,
talking about the guys.
why did you say that?
Yeah.
That happens with me a lot.
Oh, well.
And then, of course, on Thanksgiving at Post 85, we're going to have our traditional Thanksgiving meal. That is open to the public, folks.
Right.
So we don't, if you're sitting at home, and there are people out there, let's just face it, there are people out there that have nowhere to go for Thanksgiving.
Right.
And that breaks my heart to even think that.
Well, time marches on. Sometimes family moves on. I mean, sometimes members of the family die where you congregated, and then that's not there anymore, and then the
Yeah.
others move away. Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, so come on down to Post 85. We usually start right around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And it's a full Thanksgiving meal. I mean, we got turkey, you think about something to eat for Thanksgiving, it's going to be on the table. And
Important question. Cranberry sauce?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if they're going to.
Out of the can.
Let's hope so.
All right.
That's cranberry sauce. I like that kerplop sound.
All
you
right,
know?
all right.
What, you want the...
I like the other stuff, but
all
no,
right, all
we
right.
do
Well,
this
I'll see
every
what
year.
I'll see what I can
do it
do.
every
You want-
year.
I might be
want
able to
the busy-
convince...
You want the busy stuff with the fiber in it, or
yeah,
you
yeah,
like the jelly
yeah.
one?
No, I like both. I'm not going to pass up either.
Okay.
But if
And
I have
not-
my preference.
And not to step all over your former guests, but we are doing a toy drive at Post 85. So if you got a new toy you'd like to drop off. And what we try to do, of course, anything we do at Post 85, and, no knock on any other area in Woonsocket, but we really, really try to serve the Fairmount area.
Of course you do, yeah.
With what we do, because that's our neighborhood, right? So we try to help our neighborhood as much as we can. So if you got a new toy, if you're shopping and you say, gee, that toy's on sale, go ahead and pick it up and, drop it off down to Post 85. We'll make sure some kid that really needs a toy for Christmas gets it. And last but not least, always want to mention the courtesy vehicle program we got at Post 85. What we do is we got a vehicle that was donated to us by Kevin Meehan over at Imperial Chevrolet in Mendon. And we take that vehicle and we transport veterans to their medical appointments. So if you're a veteran out there, call 401-766-7585. That's our American Legion post. and you give the bartender that answers the phone your name, your telephone number. I'm the duty officer. They will call me. I will call you. We will set up a drive for your medical appointment. We will pick you up at home. We will bring you to your medical appointment. We will not leave you hanging. We will wait for you at that medical appointment, and then we will take you home. And that is all free of charge. So, and that's pretty much what's going on. So,
It's plenty. It's plenty.
yeah.
All right.
Enough
Don't
to
ask
keep
me
you
to
busy for
repeat
a
it because
while.
I've already forgotten it.
All right. Thanks, Rich. This portion of the Coffee and program is sponsored by the Valley Breeze newspaper, which Dave happens to have in his hands.
I do, Joe. I have 2 different flavors of the 5 editions of the Valley Breeze newspapers. Right now, I hold in my hands the North Smithfield, Woonsocket, and Blackstone edition. Big surprise. There's a lot about the elections in here, including some great color pictures of the supporters cheering as Mayor Beauchamp announced that he had received a call from his challenger, John Ward, and who had conceded the race. And everybody was jumping up and down there. There's a lot of very familiar faces you see in there. The mayor's secretary, Adam Brunetti, I see right away. Garrett Mansaria is doing what he normally does, looking down at his cell phone. Scott McGee, city councilor, doesn't have the same great eyesight that Garrett does, so he's holding his iPhone right in front of him, very close to his nose, and a bunch of other very familiar faces in there as well. And that's nice. And there's also a picture of Chris and his wife, Anique. And then over in North Smithfield, Corey Plant has the story about Scott Gibbs, who's been involved kind of like in the background of government for as long as I've been around practically, is now enjoying a great life in North Smithfield, decides he wanted to be North Smithfield Town Administrator, so he put his hat in there. Ms. Newbury did as well. He seems to have won because, and very, very tiny percentage here, like 0.4% of the available vote right there. But congratulations to Scott Gibbs. We'll be inviting him to come and visit us here on Coffee Inn as well. Then Corey also has a story in here from Woonsocket talking about the plaintiff in Woonsocket Wastewater seeks residents to join the fight. That sounds interesting. Better read that in the Valley Breeze this weekend. And then the Cumberland Lincoln edition I have also in my hand right here. You can pick them up at the radio station. And Mayor Mutter is victorious. That's a picture there of him with his supporters on election night, scoring a convincing win in Cumberland. Tough election for the independents, however. Great story on that. Pearson and Vos also both winners, and all the incumbents in Lincoln won re-election. Plus there's great ads, other news stories, calendars of events in the Valley Breeze, free where you shop every Thursday.
Thanks, Dave. More Coffee and coming up. Stay tuned.
At George's Breakfast and Lunch, 793 Harris Avenue in Woonsocket, otherwise known as George's Restaurant, you'll get a chance to see John cook up whatever it is you want. Just a plate of eggs and bacon, or a beautiful omelet made with all kinds of interesting and fresh and delightful things. Or at lunchtime, maybe you want a big bowl of chicken soup. Hearty. Oh, you'll never have another bowl of chicken soup like you get at George's, that's for sure. Or any of the tuna melts or special sandwiches or regular meal. It's up to you. At George's Breakfast and Lunch, drop on by. Now, they're not open on Tuesdays, and you got to bring cash, but George's Breakfast and Lunch will leave a lasting impression on you all the time. George's Breakfast and Lunch is at 793 Harris Avenue, Woonsocket.
What does it mean that our customers are our owners? It means that we don't have shareholders like a bank. We have owners, like you. And though we don't have traditional shareholders, we do share. We share values, expectations, and yes, profits, in the form of better rates, lower fees, and dividends. Our customers are our owners. Our owners are our customers. Come join us. Navigate Credit Union.
There is nothing like the beauty of a little decorated tree to liven up the holidays. The St. Arts and Cultural Center is hosting its annual Trim-a-Tree classes on Wednesday, December 4th at 1 p.m. or 6 p.m. Create and decorate your very own tabletop boxwood tree. This popular event sells out every year. A light meal is included. Private classes are available for groups of 15 or more. For tickets or more information, visit Vos True Value Hardware or call 401-486-9380.
It's Coffee and on ONAM and FM. Thanks for joining us. This is Joe Callahan. Dave Richards is here. Melissa Murray's here. Rich Lane is here. And first thing I want to bring up right now is the passing of Louis Gelano.
Oh, yeah.
Bishop
The
Gelano
bishop passed away yesterday.
at the St. Antoine's residence. Dave, you had a lot of interaction with him over many
Oh, yeah.
years.
Oh, sure. He was the bishop that I had most interactions with in all my career, because he was the second longest serving bishop of the Diocese of Providence. And he was there when the late Gilderi and I were helping to build the media arm of the diocese back in the 80s and into the 90s. And so, he was very, very active, very cordial, easy guy. We needed recording of the rosaries, and he got together some friends and recorded all the decades of the rosary for us all on tape, and just so that we'd have something to play on the air. Really amazing. And of course, as I mentioned in the news story, I added this in to the news story that he was most beloved around here because during many of the years that he served as bishop of the diocese, it was a time when Woonsocket and the nearby towns had a great influence from the French Canadians. And of course, that was his heritage, his upbringing up in Vermont, being so close to the border with Quebec. And it was his lineage as well. And he was just delighted to stop and speak French with a lot of the folks who felt very comfortable with that language, and endeared him to a lot of folks. So, and the children and grandchildren of those people who felt so comfortable with the bishop as well. He managed to avoid the largest of the controversies by being proactive, is what I saw, what I witnessed, trying to head off trouble before it happened, deal with it when it did in a very direct way. Didn't sweep anything under the carpet. Bishop Gelano was a heck of an administrator, which is why the Pope left him there for so long, until he reached the mandatory retirement age of 75, and then he had to go. And we witnessed also that it was almost like he never really retired. He didn't have the job anymore, but he was always picking up the phone or going down to the diocese building. I forget what they call it. I just lost the word in my vocabulary for a minute. But down there on Cathedral Square. And it was always going down to try to help people with their work. Hey, is there anything that you can use an extra pair of hands for? He didn't want to retire. He still had his health back in those days, and he wanted to use all the time he could. And when people needed him less and less in Providence, he became the chaplain at the St. Antoine residence, and of course at the hospice as well, and worked until he really couldn't continue any longer. And dementia pretty much set in for the last couple of years, so he was very frustrated that he wasn't able to be as productive, but his work was over, and now it truly is.
And it was a few years ago, got to go back maybe 7 or 8, giving away the birthday cakes, Dave. He won.
Yeah.
And at that point, it wasn't Stop and Shop giving us the cakes. It was the bakery that used to be on Cass Ave.
Deloriers.
No.
No. That Cass Avenue was a different one.
Yeah. And boy, were they shocked when the bishop walked in looking for his cake.
His birthday cake. Yeah.
and they gave it to him. But it's funny you mentioned about the rosaries, Dave.
Yeah.
This goes back to the 80s. So we're going back 40 years now. And boy, if you didn't start the rosary when you started to, the phones rang.
Oh, yes.
And people said, not where's the
They're
rosary.
playing it on the radio, yeah.
They said, not where's the rosary, where's the bishop?
Yeah.
That's how they asked the question. We don't, where's him? We want him.
That's right.
A little technical difficulty. It's coming. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I thought that
He was
amazing.
he was a great supporter, a member of the Knights of Columbus. Last time I actually saw Bishop Gelano in person was during the Autumn Fest parade 2 years ago. He was on the Knights float. They had built a special stand for him to hold on to because, when you start and stop all the time, you could jiggle and now the guy was in his 90s, well into his 90s. And so they made sure that he gave him a little handhold so that he could hold on to. But he loved waving to people and saying hi and seeing all the faces. I just absolutely loved it. He wasn't able to make it this past year. But anyway, great memories and great work for the diocese and for God.
Bishop Delano was 96.
Yes.
Now, last night, Dave, you were able to go to the Woonsocket Area Career and Technical Center. They had an open house.
Yeah.
Had a very good time over there, didn't
And
you?
I have nothing to show for it, Joe.
Didn't
You
take
know,
one
usually
picture. Didn't
I
take
didn't take
one recording.
one picture. I didn't do one video. I didn't do a recording. I had everything with me.
Yeah.
Now, because of business during the day, I managed to get there, but I managed to get there like an hour and 20 minutes later than I had planned on. Originally, I was supposed to go in early, do interviews before the crowds came.
Yeah.
But by the time I got there, they were swinging. And the kids were coming in with their parents and stuff like that, and auditing courses, and, mostly from the middle schools, because they're the ones who will be joining the high school next year. And 9th and 10th graders are where you join in for the Career and Technical Center. And, oh, gosh, I got to tell you, I was so overwhelmed with what was going on there. I didn't interview anybody. I mean, I talked to people for an hour, but I didn't interview any. I realized when I left, I says, "You idiot, you were supposed to be there to work, but you just enjoyed yourself the whole darn time."
How dare you?
I didn't do my job.
Oh, I met a youngster named John, who earlier in his class yesterday put together, with perforated angle iron and several electronic components and a nickel metal hydride battery and a radio receiver, a robot, a little four-wheeled robot, which he terrorized people in the corridors with for the entire evening. Seriously, the thing would zoom when it took off, and it whirred and it spun around and stuff like that, and he just built it that afternoon in class. He was in his glory.
Wow, that's great.
Really great, the robotics class there. I stopped into the automotive class. And you know something? I learned something there at the automotive class, because they were showing, for instance, I had seen this as a young boy. They had a bowl of lemons. And a young girl, couldn't have been more than 7 or 8 years old, came in, saw the bowl of lemons and thought they were for eating. But no, there was a board right next to it with several pegs and wires and a voltmeter. And the teacher explained, you take these lemons and you impale them on the pegs. Boop, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you take these electrodes and you put it in the other end of the lemon, and you let her actually poke it into the lemons like that. And as anyone knows, with the acid that's in citric acid that's in a lemon, there will be, when the two anodes are in the fruit, there will be a current developed. And there were 4 of them, and it added up, and they ended up coming up with 1.5 volts of electricity just in the lemons. And he says, he picked up a little AA battery. He says, you have just created with 4 pieces of fruit the same electricity that's in this battery. She was impressed.
Yeah. So
And
cool.
and this is the most wonderful time for teachers who embrace their profession to see that they've made an impact on a young life. And those are the sorts of things I saw all over He taught me how those sensors work that tell you your tire pressure on the newer cars, that monitor your tire pressure.
Yeah, how they work. Well,
It's a little transmitter inside the valve stem.
okay.
And it radios out at 433 megahertz with a receiver that's in your dashboard to tell you. And it's got a little MAC address so they can tell which tire is receiving and stuff like that. But, I never knew how they did it. And I thought that was marvelous.
Yeah.
And, and that's just the automotive. I could go on about that. Now, talk about the digital media. And, when Catherine Ricker was on with me yesterday, she talked about the digital media. We replayed that interview a couple of times yesterday, and I hope everybody got a chance to hear it, because when we went into digital media, well, that's where I live.
Okay.
And she showed me this room that they are building a live TV studio. They have all the equipment. The lights have been donated by Rhode Island PBS. They've got donations all over the place. They have all the equipment, and they are redoing this long rectangular room, which has all the dimensions of one of the original early live television studios right there at the Woonsocket Area Career and Technical Center. And next year, they'll be using it to conduct actual live shows with the students.
Fantastic. Hey.
We're so lucky to have those programs.
Oh my goodness!
Yes.
Really
Plus
are.
they've got a daycare in the school that they and the child care students operate.
Take care of the kids. Okay. Wow.
Yep. And those options
Say
for
nothing
kids.
of culinary.
Yeah, those options for kids keep them in school and keep them engaged.
do.
Like they really do prevent a lot of kids who otherwise just wouldn't feel engaged and wouldn't feel like they want to stay in school to stay in school.
And it wasn't.
And we
around
need
when
childcare workers desperately.
It wasn't around when I was in school, Joe. But the concept was proven before they built that
It's not
building.
the home ec in the shop that we had, right?
Right,
Oh,
right.
wish
Right.
we had had it. I would have loved robotics.
Of course, when I was in school, two things kept me in high school, and that was the band
Yep.
and the back of my father's hand. But that was. But when you want to become engaged and want to go to school, it's because of classes like the Career and Technical Center.
Well, I'm glad it went well last night with the open house. That's fantastic. So we're done with the show for today. Thank you very much for listening. Our thanks to Bob Salvis from Toys for Tots that came in earlier
Thanks,
today
Bob.
for his event that's taking place Monday at the Guild in Pawtucket, 5 to 9 p.m. Rich Elaine, thanks for coming in today as well.
Semper Fi to my Marines out there. Happy birthday on Sunday, and thank a veteran.
All right. Melissa
Thank you,
Murray, thanks
Rich.
for coming in.
Thank you. Great to be back.
All right. And Dave, thanks for hanging around as well.
It's so nice to be back with the whole crew again on
I
Friday.
know.
Ah, family. Ah.
All right. Make it a great day and a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you Monday morning on the Morning Fun Show.
All right. Stay tuned for Gary Smith and the crew. Do you remember at 9:30 here on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news. A brush fire burned at least 5 acres in Cumberland yesterday. According to the fire department, companies were conducting simulations